How's the lighting? Everybody give it up for Tina.
All right, what's up, man?
How are you, sir?
How are you?
Good. Got a question. Tell me your views on, and I don't know much about the show. You walking by, see you, might have seen you a couple of times. Tell me your idea of the fact that you're allowed to be with multiple women, but the woman you're with is not allowed to be with multiple men.
Well, it simply comes down to biology. Women are not designed to be promiscuous. It's a learned habit versus men are naturally promiscuous. So women can only have one child per year versus men can have as many as they can, whoever they get sexual access to. So it simply just doesn't work. And I think if we polled most women here, you know, if they had a guy that they love, admired, and respected, they wouldn't want to have sex with other men. But if you ask the guys, hey, you got a girl that you love, admire, and respect, would you want to have other girls? Most guys would say yes. Obviously, there's some guys that say no, but I would argue a majority of them would probably say yes if they could do it without negative repercussions.
Gotcha. So the woman that you're with is a high-value woman, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think a woman's, determine higher value or higher status based on the man that she's able to be with. I don't think there's a such thing as a high-value woman because I think all women have value.
There's no such thing as a high-value woman.
Unless she's with a higher status guy.
Okay.
Because they all have, let me be clear, that's because they all have inherent value. Versus not all men have inherent value. Does that make sense? Like the average woman has more value than like the average guy in the sexual marketplace.
Okay.
Because women are the protected and vulnerable sex, and they're the ones that propagate the next generation.
Gotcha.
Versus men, we have to earn our value.
True. So you're with a high value woman who lets you be with other women. Does that really saying she's a high value woman because you're allowed to go be with another woman and then go home to her, right?
Yeah, she's high value enough to understand, the relationship dynamic. And I think that's a very important trait that women need to understand is who's the boss, right? Like, anytime someone says something like, oh yeah, happy wife, happy life, I cringe because that's not good. That pretty much means the woman wears the pants in a relationship. My thing is I want guys in a position where they're dictating the terms of the relationship, they're dictating how things go, and the woman follows. Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't want to follow, that's fine, but she could be single.
Gotcha. So something happens to you in your life, you hit a low point, go to prison, something bad happens, you have a wife that sticks with you for 2, 3, 4 years, and then is that a high-valued woman? Is that somebody that you would not have multiple women with, or you'll never change your views on that?
No, I mean, that's a loyal woman, and, if you choose, like, if she held you down like that, like, let's say hypothetical, like someone goes to jail and a girl holds him down in that process, I would say she's loyal. Like, maybe you might choose, I don't want to step out and have other girls, but my thing is I just want the man to be the one that's making that decision. Does that make sense? Most guys are monogamous out of necessity versus I want guys to be monogamous by choice.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Thanks.
All right, man. Thanks. Yo.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
I share your content on my platform all the time. I'm Life Coach Eddie. You can find me online, EDDY. I got a couple 100,000 followers, but not like you. You're like super big. So I just want to tell you a little bit about my story, right? About Women Deserve Less. I was married for 15 years, actually 17 years, but 2 years within a divorce. Went up to Massachusetts. We got divorced in Massachusetts. I'm a veteran, former NASA engineer, highly decorated, and my ex-wife was able to create a narrative about me of being abused. She created so many lies, and Massachusetts ate it all up. And I thought it was so ridiculous. So when I was up there, I thought, that everyone was going to see through it. But she ended up getting sole custody of the kids. And until I came to Florida, where it was more conservative, and they saw through her BS, is when I got my custody back. So I see this happening to DDG too, And, now my platform is all about men's rights. I share your stuff all the time, bro.
Appreciate that, man.
Because I feel like you're on point with a lot of stuff. What do you have to say about DDG and his situation, if you know about it, with Haley?
Yeah, no, I'm very familiar. Me and him haven't always seen eye to eye, and we've went back
I saw
and
you
forth
go back
a bit.
and forth about.
But personal grievances aside, what Haley tried to do to him is completely unacceptable. I think he should have his son. And honestly, what Haley's doing really shows what a lot of women can do, where they weaponize the family court system to not just destroy a man's reputation, but also destroy his ability to see his children and potentially even his ability to earn money, right? I think it's very important. And the main reason why I didn't, I stepped up and defended him, even though we have our issues, is because she put a temporary restraining order on him. Now, when you have a temporary restraining order on you in California, you can't carry a gun. This guy's a rapper, right? Los Angeles is dominated by gang culture. So the fact that he can't even carry a gun to protect himself as a rapper, which is a very dangerous job nowadays, I think that's ridiculous, right? And she pretty much put him in a neutered, vulnerable position. So out of spite. So that's my problem. And I'm glad that he's kind of exposing this. And thankfully, he has the resources and the money to fight back and hire his own legal team and get custody back. But most men don't have that privilege, unfortunately.
But I'm saying, even with the resources, the system is set up. Like, she got sole custody right now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy because this guy, you can tell he loves his kid. There's no reason why he shouldn't have 50-50 custody.
Yep.
I feel like there's not enough discussion talking about men's rights. About, like, a woman can have abortion, right? But a man can't say, I want to give up my right to be a dad. Yeah. We should have that right? Yeah. We shouldn't have no obligation to a child for a woman who has a child under, so I'm just saying we need to talk about men's right, where it should be automatically 50-50 custody. My ex-wife did the same thing. She went in and I guess the lawyer told her this plan of get a restraining order, do all this stuff. And she did exact same path. So I just feel like a lot of men are going to go through this because they go into this relationship ideally loving their wife. I love my wife like tremendously, but once I seen that she was like lying and doing all these things, stealing money, I was like, yo, this is not right. So I just feel like a lot of men is going to fall into this trap. And I just feel like we need to talk about it more.
This is why, this is why I tell guys, the proposition of marriage in modern society is very dangerous for men, because you lose a lot of leverage when you do that. That's why I say never get the state involved, man. They can literally ruin your life. Luckily DDG has the resources and the money to, but that's just allowing him to even fight back.
Yes.
Most guys don't even have the ability to do it.
Absolutely.
They just lose their kids and they can't fight it. And I find, you mentioned the whole thing with abortion. I find it incredible that a woman can kill a baby, right, with abortion, but if that baby's born and the guy doesn't pay money, he goes to jail. But she doesn't go to jail for aborting the baby.
It's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy.
So it's wild.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, no worries, man. Thank you. Bringing awareness to a big problem. What's that, man?
Love, bro. I appreciate you. So I don't necessarily think that the women deserve less, but I think that the man needs to understand that he's the one that's in the position to make it compatible for the both. But the woman needs to understand that she comes second in the relationship. But it's not that she deserves less. It's that the man needs to understand that he's the one that's the foremost. He's the one that's the alpha. He's the one that needs to find the woman that understands that they're match made in heaven. But that means ideally that the man is the alpha. The man's the head of the house. So she don't deserve less, but the man the one that deserve more.
Would you agree that we're in an egalitarian society?
What's egalitarian?
Like equal? Like this whole, the 50-50 type situation?
It's not designed that way.
Well, so a lot of women, and I see where you're coming from, you're saying, hey, they shouldn't deserve less because, it's a different role. Now, if we were in 1950, I would actually agree with you. But now you got to remember that women approach relationships from the perspective that they're equal to you. So in order for you to establish this hierarchy that you just demonstrated, by definition, you have to give them less. They deserve less, because that is how you maintain that hierarchy and that dominance, is by giving them less and understanding that you're the leader. Now, again, if it was 1950s, we would need to have this conversation. But in today's world where, 50-50 partnerships, egalitarianism, feminism, whatever, you have to almost knock them down a peg, no pun intended, to let them know that you are the leader. So that's why I say that.
So would you say the definition of less is a case-by-case basis?
For sure.
Comparison to the man.
For sure. And
Right.
the reason why I write it that way is because in general, when most men deal with women, they come under the assumption that they're equal. Right? Like this wasn't a problem 60 years ago. Guys
Right.
understood, hey, I'm coming in a relationship. I'm the leader. I have a duty. But nowadays, guys go in a relationship and think, oh, we're equal. Okay, let's split the light bill. Let's split the mortgage. Right? So I have to kind of deprogram that from that 50-50 mindset. because I'm a big proponent of women not working. I think they should be at home with the kids. You know, I think it's an issue when women enter the workforce in a lot of situations, or at least be in a position where if you're working, she's doing it electively, right? And it's a job that isn't too strenuous, because I think the children are the most important thing.
So would you say that what we're doing right now is making a difference as far as like doing this? Because I believe so. I think that I'm starting to see a change in women, and I'm really starting to see like men are putting themselves in a position where it's like, you know what, I'm not putting myself down anymore to get on that low vibrational level. So would you say this is a good, it's making a difference?
We're making a small dent, but the problem is that like censorship, shadow banning, you know, politically correct platforms, you know, they banned my friend Andrew Tate, right? They shadow ban us. They kicked us off Meta. I got banned on Twitch, right? So the problem is that we have Silicon Valley doesn't understand, I guess, biology to some degree. So our ability to push this message out has been hindered significantly thanks to censorship. Now, it's gotten a bit better with Trump in office, but, you know, there was a mass censorship campaign under the Biden administration from like 2021 up until Trump took office, because this type of content is heavily suppressed, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, gang, bro. Keep going.
Appreciate
what you
that,
do.
man.
Shout out.
Thank you, man. Hey, shout out to DBG, another 50 gift of subs, bro. I appreciate you, my friend. And Mr. Hooligan gifted 20 subs. Shout out to you, man. Yo, what's up, bro? You want to get on mic or? Okay, go ahead.
Hello? All right.
Yo, what's up?
What's up? So, you want me to change your mind about your statement, right?
Sure.
Yeah, all right. So
I'm open to your
I
interpretation.
just think, like, you have, like, a really broad statement. Like, your whole, like, woman is just too broad of a statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say, like, bitches deserve less, but, like, women in general, like, I don't think all women deserve less, you know?
Well, it depends on how you interpret it, man. But what's the,
Yeah.
like, did you want to clarify something?
Like,
or?
do you agree with that? Like, not all women deserve less?
Well, the thing is that they've got to prove that.
Yeah, so, like, not all women, right?
Yeah, I mean, but they have to prove it. And I would say,
Exactly. So if they're able to prove it, then you're going to change your mind?
yeah, that's still a minority, though.
So, like, you would change your word to, like, bitches deserve less or, like, hoes deserve less, right?
Well, hoes automatically deserve less. But,
Exactly.
But,
like,
it's case by case.
you're brown, right? You're brown?
I'm sorry?
Like, you're brown, right? Your race?
I think so.
All right. Like, you know, what about those girls that wear hijabs all the time? They deserve less, too?
What was that?
Like, you know, the girls that wear hijabs?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like I said, it depends on the girl. Some women kind of understand their roles from more traditional societies. But when I'm talking about women deserve less, I'm talking more from a Western frame.
Yeah, so, like, so your statement is just so, like, American women?
Yes, Westernized women where feminism is, very ubiquitous. Yes.
Then I think you should change your statement to, like, a little different, you know?
Well, you're free to change it however you want, and then you push it yourself.
Yeah, so do you think I changed your mind?
Not really.
Like, so, but your statement is broad. You think your statement is too broad?
Yeah, because in general, men need to move that way.
Yeah, I agree. But, like, you got to understand, like, not
We
all
can't
women.
make. We can't make. There's always exceptions to the rule, but there's a general practice that men should adapt to kind of put themselves in a position to mitigate
Yeah.
risk. I don't know if you heard the gentleman earlier, but he was
Yeah, I
talking
know.
about.
For him, I understand. Like, his bitch, yeah, deserves less.
No, but what I'm trying to explain is that there's probably a bunch of guys here right now. who
Yeah,
have
like,
been
if they have a
divorced.
back spin with
Lose-
then yeah, they, like, those women, yeah. But, like, if they don't have a back spin with women, then, you know.
You're missing the point. There's a whole institution set up
Yeah, I understand. I
to
understand.
fuck men up if they don't make proper decisions. So what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
is to
But
avoid
yeah, but,
the
like, you
family
gotta
court
understand,
system.
like.
Well, hold on, let me finish. For men to avoid the divorce machine, right?
Yeah.
That would absolutely cripple and destroy them, take their kids away from them, take their livelihood from them, kick them out of their own home. Men need to move far more intelligently in today's day and age.
Yeah, definitely. I understand. I know that.
So that's why I say that generally, because unfortunately, this is where we are now in society.
Yeah, I know. It's just I think it's too broad of a statement. Like, I have a sister, I have a mother, so, you know, and they
That's
definitely good people.
That's where critical thinking comes in, man.
And, like, you know, like, if,
You have to be able to critically assess something and be like, okay, does this apply to me or my loved ones? Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Moving
yeah,
on.
so, like, it doesn't, you know, so it's just too broad of a statement.
I mean, if you interpret it that way and you get offended, I can't
No,
control
I'm not
how you
offended.
feel.
I'm just saying, like, you're the one that said you want me to change your mind, you know?
I don't think you did a good job, but that's fine.
How did I not go to do the job?
I don't think you because the problem is that you're internalizing what's being said here and kind of applying it through a personal lens versus understanding general statements might not necessarily apply to you or your loved ones, but it could still apply
So
to
out
a
of
majority.
100% of women, how many percent deserve less?
I'm sorry?
Out of 100% of women in the world, how many deserve less? Or out of 100% of women in America, how many deserve less?
99.9%.
All right, so what about the what about the 0.1%?
There you that's the
All
one
right, then can you
give
change
more.
your statement to 99.9%? You accept that 1%? And that 1% is my mother and my sister. You feel me?
Hey, man. Yeah, this guy's funny, bro. All right, who's up next? Hey, and for all of you guys that are watching live, man, don't forget to smash that like button. We're live on YouTube, Rumble, all the platforms. We got what, like 10, 20,000 y'all watching, man. So shout out to you guys. Yeah, we got like tens of thousands watching, guys. So we're blowing up. What's up, man?
How you doing, Mr. Fresh?
What's up?
How you doing? Good?
Good, man.
Mr. Fresh. Mr. I just want to say I kind of disagree with the statement, women deserve less.
Okay.
I think I just generally men I think generally just men need to stop being such bitches and that's it. They need to
Yeah, but see, if it were that simple, we would have fixed the problem, and it's unfortunately not
Yeah.
that simple. It's a very complex situation, and right now what we're dealing with is a multi-decade push from feminism, and kind of that's where we're at now. So I get it, because that's a lot of guys come up here and say, just believe in Jesus, just be a man, blah blah blah. It's far more complex than that.
What do you think so? It's more complex.
Where are you
Because
from?
personally, Croatia.
You're from Croatia, okay.
Yeah.
When did you come to States?
2 weeks ago.
Okay, so
It's
so
different,
you're from
it's
Eastern
different.
Europe. You will notice once you spend more time here, but feminism is pretty much started and has been pushed here. It's still it's seeping into Western Europe, into Eastern Europe and Europe in general as well. But I think you haven't really seen the results of feminism in the West yet, because you've only been here for 2 weeks. But
Yeah.
but things are very different over here, as you'll see here soon.
I mean, I believe women should have the same opportunities to be able to create a career as a man.
Okay,
That they should have the same human rights,
sure.
and that's it. Everybody can organize their relationship how they want to do it. If a woman wants to be the boss in the relationship and then a guy admits to that, that's their problem. That's how they want to live.
Well, it's not gonna.
That's
it's
how
not,
you have
that-
nowadays
That's not
your-
gonna work. That simply doesn't work. I hate to say it, but like it never works when the woman is in a leadership role in a relationship. I mean, controversial take, but like women are terrible people if they have leverage on you. They're terrible people. They simply don't know how to move when they have power, right? They're gonna disrespect you, treat you like shit. Because the thing is that if woman's your boss, or she's like you're supposed to be her man, you're supposed to be her leader, protector, provider. If she's the one that's leading you, it's going to masculinize her. And by her being more masculinized, she's going to be very agitated and annoyed by you being soft, right? Now, does that mean she's going to break up with you same day? No, of course not. But what's going to happen is it's going to what they call death by 1,000 paper cuts. So over a period of time, the disrespect is going to continue to grow and grow and grow. It starts off with her talking back to you. Next thing you know, you're at the Target, checkout line, and she's smacking you upside the head saying you're stupid. So, men a lot of the times don't realize until it's too late that this is something that needs to be curbed from the beginning. And it starts with understanding a hierarchy that you're the boss, she follows you. But if she's the boss and you follow her, that relationship's going to get followed to the end.
I mean, there is cases of relationships where that works out, but I believe generally what you're saying is true. Generally.
I mean, and a couple people have made the argument of, exception to the rule. We can't operate on the exception to the rule, right? If it happens
Yeah, that doesn't
5% of the time, that's still not high enough to actually, talk about it and actually tell people, oh, yeah, let your woman be your boss. Like, it's not conducive to success in a majority of situations.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Who's up next? Oh, nice to meet you. I promise I didn't pick my nose.
I'm not debating or anything. I just wanted to show appreciation because my dad, he raised me without a mother and everything. I have 6 brothers. I take care of them. I cook for them, clean. And it's really important to me to be a traditional woman and to like grow up and to be one. And I feel like basically your messages, I'm sorry, I'm nervous, but your messages that you put out there are important for other women who want to be traditional women because it's really important. And like
How old are you?
nowadays, I'm 17 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I feel like in our generation especially, like they want to be, you know, more, excuse my language, but hoes and like, you know, go around, do their own thing and be independent. And it's really important for a woman to be a traditional woman because it shows a lot and it shows value. And I just wanted to show appreciation.
No, your dad did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, no worries. Pleasure to meet you too. She has a bright future ahead of her. What's up, man? How are you? We need more young women that think that way.
Right here? All right.